creepy, crawly meeples as far as the eye can see. Today we're sharing some of our favorite Halloween games in this Fab 5 episode of Little Big Thumbs. No matter what time of year you are watching this video, Halloween is probably on your mind. There are so many dark and scary games for adults these days, and I'm here to tell you that games for vampires, zombies, and ghosts aren't just for grown-ups. My name is JP, aka Big Papa Thumbs, and today we're going to be sharing 5 board games that are amazing for young children while also being enjoyable for adults. Now enough of this boring banter. Let us get started with the games. One of the easiest Halloween costumes to make on the fly is, of course, a ghost. And the ease of becoming a bedsheet boo maker is captured in a lovely little game called Spooky Stairs. This game is a simple roll and move affair with players stumbling up a single set of stairs. There are no branching pathways or anything on these steps that will stop your forward momentum. But the die that we use to move up those stairs is a whole other story. 2 of the 6 sides on this die have a ghost on it, and if you roll that ghost on your turn, then you'll get to put a costume on one of the player pawns. The pawn and the ghost click together with a magnet, and once they're connected, you will not be able to look under that ghost for the rest of the game. Early on, that's not a big deal, but once every player has been ghosted, it's easy to lose track of which ghost is yours. And if the ghost is rolled again after everyone is hidden, the active player gets to swap the position of 2 ghosts on the board. Once one ghost makes it to the top of the stairs, the game is over, and we'll find out who has won the game. And often, it might not be who you expect. Spooky Stairs is quick and silly fun for kids, and it's also a game that I'll occasionally bring out to play with adults on a Halloween game night. If you can track down a copy of this magnetic menace, you probably won't regret it. Now we're moving from ghosts to monsters in a new game from Haba called Monster Munch, which is a push-your-luck memory game for 2 to 4 players. In a way, Monster Munch kind of captures the feeling of trick-or-treating, which we'll come back to in just a moment. In this game, we're setting up a banquet table of monster meals, and the goal is to get all the way around the table. Each turn involves rolling a die and then flipping over 1 plate at a time. As long as you don't find a meal matching the color rolled on the die, you can keep flipping over plates or just choose to stop for that round. If you avoid finding the yucky plate color, your monster meeple moves ahead to the last plate you flipped over. But if you flip the bad color, everyone at the table yells, "Yucky!" and you lose all of that progress. Whichever player is the first to get all the way around the nom obstacle course, that's who's going to win the game. To add a trick-or-treat twist to this game, we put a small bowl of candy or maybe some tasty fruit in the middle of the table, and anytime a player successfully ends their turn without finding the yucky food, they get to take one of those treats. So even if you don't win the game, you still get a prize. Monster Munch is tiny and tricky, and lots of fun. The Ticket to Ride series of games is one of the most popular in the entire world of board gaming, and currently spans at least 30 different products. One of the newest releases in the series is called Ghost Train, which is a simplified version of the game aimed at welcoming younger players to the table. Instead of the traditional tracks and trains, this game puts players in charge of organizing Halloween parade floats, featuring all of the cute and creepy caricatures you would expect out of a game looking to capture the imaginations of mini monsters. In this game, players are either collecting float cards or playing sets of them to connect 2 locations on the board. We always have 2 tickets we're looking to complete, and as soon as one is finished, it's revealed for all to see and a new ticket is drawn. The first player to complete 6 of these tickets wins the game. As written, the rules for Ticket to Ride Ghost Train are a bit simplistic for most adults, but we've been able to introduce bits and pieces of the core Ticket to Ride game rules to this Halloween variant, allowing both big players and little players to enjoy their time at the table. We love the Halloweeny colors for those plastic parade floats, and the destinations and artwork throughout the game are just fantastic. Whether or not you're a Ticket to Ride fan, this might be a great addition to just about any Halloween family gaming collection. We've covered ghosts and monsters, and now it's time to meet some zombies. Zombie Teens Evolution is the sequel to Zombie Kids Evolution, which was one of our favorite family gaming experiences ever. Both of these games have a legacy element, which means as you play more and more, the game begins to permanently change and evolve. Each game of Zombie Teens requires us to work together to find a zombie antidote, gathering ingredients from the police station, restaurant, arcade, and hospital. The ingredients are too heavy for any one teen to carry on their own, so players need to set themselves up to pass the ingredient crates from one teen to another, until all four are in the center of the board. But the color-coded zombies are moving closer to their desired destinations each turn, and if they overrun those 4 key locations, we lose the game. If you and the kids in your life like the idea of opening mystery envelopes, playing with stickers, and working together to build a literal comic book, there simply isn't a better choice out there than to play Zombie Teens Evolution. So far, we've seen just about all of the traditional Halloween tropes on this list, but we're still missing one. Can you guess what it is? If you said vampires, you were correct. Aside from the blood-sucking and turning into bats, vampires are well known to be fashion-conscious folks. So it only makes sense that these Nightwalkers have their very own fashion show, which brings us to our final game on the list, Vamp on the Batwalk. This game acts as a traditional trick-taking game for beginners, with a bit of a twist, because every player is going to be holding their cards so that they face the other players. You'll know which card suit you'll be playing each round, but not the value of those cards. Unless you're studying the cards that the other players are holding, which adds a really lovely deduction aspect to the game. Every time you win a trick, your vampire moves one step down the runway, and the first one to get to the spotlights at the end of the ramp wins the game. The blind card play manages to level the playing field for younger vamps, or even players who aren't terribly familiar with traditional trick-taking games. It might very well be the friendliest vampire game we've ever played, and if you want to see us singing about Vamp on the Batwalk, be sure to check out the links in the description of this video for an older parody post. And once you play this cute and quick card game, we think that you also will be singing its praises. Alright girls, so we have just gone through our 5 of our favorite games to play at Halloween. And my question for you is, if you were planning your own Halloween game night, which of these games would you start with?
Vamp on the Batwalk.
Vamp on the Batwalk?
Or Spooky Stairs.
Or Spooky Stairs.
Or Ticket to Ride.
I would play... I would play Ghost Stairs. I would play Back on the Vamp Walk. More I would play this.
All right.
Bat on the Vamp Walk.
So the consensus here is that we like all of these games, and we would start any Halloween game night with almost any of these anytime. So that's great to see. Now, girls, in our last video, we announced that Teeter Tower, do you remember Teeter Tower? Mm-hmm. Teeter Tower had won the Golden Thumb Award, and that we were going to give somebody that watched and commented on our video a chance to win, there you go, a chance to win their very own copy of it. We're going to let Josie pick a name, because Josie doesn't quite read well enough to know the names. All right, so Josie's picked one. Let's see, who is it?
What's that person? Who was it? Whoever that is, I don't know who it is.
It says Ambirona. Ambirona has won a copy of Teeter Tower. So thank you for commenting on our video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everyone for entering that contest. So we hope that you all have an amazing Halloween, that you get to play some great Halloween games this year. And remember, whether you've got little players, ouch, or big players, make sure that you're playing games that make your thumbs go way up. Bye for now. Oh my gosh, that really doesn't feel good. That's not going to fit over the hat. Or will it? Let's see. You've unmasked me. You've unhatted me.
You're supposed to be a wrestling guy. You should wrestle.
Don't choke me. Don't choke me.
But we're wrestling.